Hey guys, welcome back to Modern Polygyny. I'm Ray.
I'm Prince.
And on this channel, we discuss polygyny and relationships in general. We encourage, uplift, and support those who are involved in polygyny and those who have a genuine curiosity. We will not debate or go back and forth with you because this is the lifestyle that we chose for our family. So in today's video, we're going to be discussing the war between black men and black women.
So what brought us to this topic today is just the various videos that we've seen recently within the past few weeks. What was the one title with the woman? She said that she survived a narcissistic.
Yeah, she's a white lady, and she starts every video off, and she says how she's a survivor of a narcissistic relationship. Yeah. So that's how she starts off all of her videos.
Yeah, and not just that video. There's a whole bunch of videos that's out there, and the first thing I want to put out there is a lot of these people should put a disclaimer out before you even listen to them, because what happens is you have a lot of people that haven't done the work. They need counseling. They're hurt. She seems like a very hurt person.
She definitely needs counseling.
Right. And then the thing is, she has this platform, and the things that she's just spewing out of her mouth is ridiculous. And then you have a whole bunch of people, mainly women, champion behind this, this hurt. And a lot of it is because some of them have been hurt before, and they have, they can feel her pain, right? They can resonate with that.
Right.
But really what you should get behind is someone that has done the work and put in, really put that work in.
Yeah, she never says anything about how she's working on it or, things are getting better for her. It's just pain that she's talking about.
Right. She looked like, you can look in the woman's eyes and see that she's in pain.
Yeah.
You can hear it in her voice. And, she has to just do the work, get over that man, stop talking about him, and just move on with your life, period. At the end of the day, you have to be very careful of who you're listening to.
Right.
Because everyone is not a guru. Everyone is not a hero. Everybody hasn't done the work and hasn't put in the, they don't have the emotional intelligence that we speak about all the time. So just be careful of who you're listening to. The next point I want to get to that is, when it comes to our community, we have no business whatsoever listening to what anyone else is doing out there in their community. Like, that yes, men are men, and I admit we have to do better as men, right? But at the end of the day, our community, black people, we're losing. If you look in this world, we are out here losing.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm telling you? Like, we need more black families. Like, we need more black families, more fathers in the household, more women, doing the right thing, more men doing the right thing, bringing up children together. The name of our channel is Modern Polygyny, but we're for family, period. It doesn't have to be polygynous or multiple. We're just for family.
Right.
That's what we're about, right? And we can't, you can't listen to that, ladies. Like, that's not us. You understand that? Like we are losing. And that doesn't mean that you're supposed to go settle for any old, anybody. If a man is doing you wrong and he's not right, you know that he's not right. You move on, you move past that, right? But it gets to the point where, and I'm not trying to victim blame, because see, that's the thing. Like, when you tell people the truth about things, when you speak truth to something, right? The truth hurts. It makes people feel uncomfortable.
Right.
But the truth shall also set you free. The truth does one of two things. It's gonna hurt you, and it'll also set you free. But when you speak truth to something, everyone's like, oh, I'm victim blaming. You're victim shaming. You're body shaming. You're doing this and do that.
I feel like this generation has a lot of these words, victim shaming and victim blaming and toxic masculinity, and they just come up with a bunch of stuff that really doesn't make no sense.
And no one wants to be accountable for anything.
Right. Going back to what you were saying, our plight as black women is not the same plight as white women, period. So if a white woman's talking about A, B, C, and D, you can you can relate to her because she's a woman, but you can't relate to her in any other aspect because her community isn't hurting like our community is. So when she talks about feminist this and feminist that, that works for them. If it works for them, because a lot of the white women that are feminists are going back to their husbands when they're done marching, right? We're going home to empty apartments, or we're going back home to being single mothers. So we have to be honest about what this really is. Their plight is not our plight. So be careful with white women you're listening to, because there are some who are for our community, but a lot of them are for their community, and their community isn't hurting like our community is.
And that feminist movement has nothing to do with us.
Nothing to do with us.
At all. But, as always, our community sees other people's movements and we'll jump and jump on their wagon.
But nobody's bandwagoning and hopping on ours.
Nobody. Even the one that is ours, I'm not even going to mention it. Even the one that's ours is not even
really
ours.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but you don't see too many people jumping behind that, right? Like, come on now, like we know, look at the past, well, since forever really, but look at the past few years. How many of us are out here getting gunned down in the streets still? Mm-hmm. You know, like...
The idea is for black men and black women to be separated because they know that when we come together, we're strong. So if we don't come together, then, you know.
And it comes to a point where what I was getting into with the, I'm not trying to bash or shame anyone. It comes to self-accountability, right? Mm-hmm. So the whole thought behind being a victim, you got to get rid of that, period. If you've been in multiple relationships and every single last one of those relationships didn't work,
you're the common denominator.
You're the common denominator. And it doesn't mean that you're a bad person. And it doesn't mean that that person wasn't a bad person, right? It just means you got to pick better.
You just have to look within.
You have to look within yourself. What are you attracting? Mm-hmm. What energy are you putting out there?
And what are you doing in all those relationships?
Right. And this is going to be a future video, so I'm not going to get into it. The thing with a lot of women, a lot of people, period, because I'm a man and I'm a giver, but a lot of women are givers, you know, naturally. You give of yourself to other people. You want to see other people win. You don't mind helping your sister up or your brother. Mm-hmm. You don't mind helping, right? You'll date a man out of potential that you see potential in, and you'll help build him up, lift him up, right? And then when he sees the next thing, he's out of there. As soon as he gets on his feet, he's gone, right? Now, that's not all men, so I'm not saying don't do that. But it happens. I've heard it. I've seen it. It happens, right? Stop pouring into people that are bottomless pits, right? What happens if, what's the noodle strainer?
Colander.
When you pour water in there, it has holes in it. It's gonna go straight through. Mm-hmm. You'll never be able to pour enough into it. It's all gonna come out. Right. Right? And that's what it, you know, in a nutshell, you gotta stop pouring into people that aren't even worthy of your energy or your time. Mm-hmm. Self-accountability. I'm not trying to bash you, I'm not trying to shame you. That's not what I'm doing here. But you have to be held accountable for your own actions. Mm-hmm. I know I could speak from my own personal experiences, right? I've went through many relationships, some that I've lost because I didn't care if I kept it or not. And then I've lost some that I really wanted to hold on to. And when I did that, it hurt. I'm like, damn, like I had to look at myself. Right. What am I doing? Even situations where it wasn't necessarily my fault. What could I have done better? What am I doing? What kind of women do I want? What am I looking at? Mm-hmm. Am I looking at the right things? Am I just looking at looks? You know, like we're in a whole different time now. Like
it's not even just romantic relationships. You can look at failed relationship within your family. Maybe you don't speak to your brother anymore. Maybe you don't have a relationship with your uncle anymore. Maybe you don't have a relationship with your sister anymore. And they may have done something wrong to you, but you probably also contributed to the breakdown in the relationship. So you just have to take accountability for what you've done, even if it's not big, right? You still have to take accountability for what you did in it, and then just do better in the next relationship.
Right. So you like when you hear a lot of these feminists and stuff like that talk, you got to understand a lot of them are coming from a different community. It has nothing to do with what we have going on in ours. And like I'm not saying that some of the things are not relatable. Like you can relate to that. Like I can listen to a feminist speak, and I could, I can agree with some things, right? With some things, but a lot of that bullshit I can't get with. I'm not gonna be able to. I'm not. It's not for us. It's not me. It's not my community, and I can't go for it. Now back to our community. Like the next point I'm gonna get to on there is that you got to understand where a lot of this stuff stems from, right? And with the whole feminist movement, this thing is it has to do with them. For so long, and even in our community, right? For so long, like if you look back in the 40s and 50s and 60s, like men used to beat their women, whip them out, which I strongly disagree with, right? Men used to treat their women bad, cheat on them, have separate families out elsewhere behind their back.
Right.
It's happened in my family. I'm pretty sure it's probably happening in yours. It's ugly, right? So anytime you have an extreme of something, it's going to be, but for so long you have an extreme of something else, the opposite, right? And that's exactly what the feminist movement is. Like when you had a lot of men going out here, women at one point in time couldn't even vote.
Yeah.
They didn't even have a voice when it came to that. I don't believe they were able to work at one point in time either.
I don't think so either. Or it was looked down upon when they were actually able to work. Yeah,
so women couldn't work.
Yeah.
They couldn't vote. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that women couldn't do.
Right.
And at the end of the day, anytime you have, even when they were able to work, they could have all the qualifications that a man has. And
get paid a lot less.
And get paid a lot less.
Right.
See, these are things that I understand that and I see why, right? But when you get to the extremes with these things, it's like
when you get to I don't need a man to have a baby, and I don't need a man to do this, and I don't need this, and I don't need that. It just doesn't even make any sense.
It doesn't. And it's like
you don't need a bad man.
Yeah, you don't need no bad man.
All right, you don't need no man just laid up on your couch. No, you don't need that. And if that's what you got, then there's something wrong with you and what you're picking.
And it's just like right now. If you're a woman and you're a homemaker, like you stay home, and like right here, she stays home. She help. We homeschool our children, or some of them.
Yeah.
Homeschooled, and she cooks and she cleans and gives the kids baths, and she does all these things, right? Even with our business that we have together, she does like a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that I can't do.
Right.
I'm not willing to do. I don't even care to learn it, right?
Right.
That is powerful because it makes my job easier knowing that things at the house are taken care of.
All right.
You understand what I'm saying? Knowing that my paperwork is taken care of at work. And women like that nowadays are looked down upon with these other women, with this feminist movement. Like, oh, you better wake up, sister. You better wake up. You're being taken advantage of. You're this and that.
Right.
And it's ridiculous. That's not us.
Yeah.
That's not what we're about.